What's up, guys? All right, let's take a look at the market for today. Yeah, yesterday was another pretty intense day, but ultimately, I think what I said kind of held true in that we kind of went sideways between this area again. But yeah, I mean, that sure was a pretty bumpy ride. Um, going to quickly discuss the price action yesterday, my general thoughts on it, um, how I ended up doing with my trades, and again, what I'm kind of expecting for today. Um, Yeah, I mean, guys, I think at this point it's pretty clear. The market is extremely mixed. Like in terms of like the both the bullish and the bearish signals. It's just there's this constant battle at this particular price range happening, and that's what's causing this pretty extreme volatility. Um, Obviously, yesterday, if we go into the 15-minute chart here, um, yeah, this box that I highlighted really ended up holding quite true in the sense that there was a lot of buy orders here, and it really we started making that big push again to 1800, um, which uh, you know um, obviously was a little bit scary in that sense, especially considering myself when I was in the position where I followed my pre-market plan to really kind of short the market at these levels going up. um, I had previous day positions opened, and when we started getting this run up again, I actually opened a couple more positions, one at 89, etc. And I just knew that ultimately, even if the momentum was again really strong and pushing towards that 1800, that 1800 is a very, very strong resistance level right now. Obviously, right? It's not just about the fact that it's at that that key like psychological level of 1800, but it's also that once we pass that, like everybody knows that we're probably going in full bull market at that point, right? I mean, like 2000 is right there, and I would definitely suspect that we're going to then start pushing towards those all-time highs and breaking through that. But that Yellen interview came out. I think it seems pretty clear that's what caused this huge dump, and ultimately the pre-market plan stuck. Um, these pre-market plans, again, it's not just about sticking to technicals. If you just stick to technicals, trading an asset like gold, which is so volatile and so dependent as well on this macroeconomic data, I mean, you can do well for sure, like if you're extremely tight with your stop losses and you're extremely technical, but that's not what I'm trying to trade, or that's not my trading style for sure, and I got to recognize that. And that's why I stuck to my guns, and we got that huge dump. No doubt that a lot of people got wiped out as well, liquidated with that dump. That was a big ass candle, which totally went into my favor. I ended up closing once we hit that 1775 take profit that I was discussing yesterday. Yeah, I made like 2.5% of my account. Super, super stoked with how that ended up turning out. Um, and like the reality is that so long as, I mean, when you're kind of swing trading more like me, like the reality is, yes, of course, sometimes this could have gone wrong. Like we couldn't have got that Yellen thing. Maybe there would have been enough momentum to actually push through that 1800, though I don't believe that. I think there would need to be a bigger catalyst to get past this point right now. But the reality is that so long as we're trading between these very, very strong resistance levels as well as strong support levels, which we're getting down here, ultimately, news is probably going to go in our favor, right? Like in terms of luck, like we understand right now there's this mixed narrative, so play that mixed narrative, right? So that's what I would say. Yesterday ended up being a really, really great day for us. One thing that I would also say, based off the last 2 days of price action in particular, is that if we look at the charts here, like it seems like we're setting higher lows, right? I mean, if we even look at the hour chart, it seems like we're setting higher lows where we're getting, these stronger bounces at higher support levels. And if we even really wanted to draw a trend line, we could, something like this, right? It kind of looks like that is forming, And when we're getting this bullish momentum, right, like we also got here, the bullish momentum is strong. Like it's clear that bulls want to see this push through. Like bulls really want to see gold push through. And I think again in the very long term outlook of the market, gold is still relatively cheap given the money printing and given this excessive spending that's happening right now, and gold as a hedge against, what's going on right now in terms of the U.S. economy. So that's definitely something to note. So in that sense, how I'm planning to trade the market today is going to slightly change, where I think going for buys, that's, especially at the 75 level, where before, like, I think this was a position where we wanted to start selling. I think we need to raise this a little bit, right? I think that the bulls are strong, but ultimately this larger narrative of the recovering U.S. economy is still going to come back. Yellen is still going to do her best to make sure that the economy doesn't like overheat like that, right, or whatever. Like, and that the dollar, the economy continues to just push on. So, yeah, I think nothing is really going to change in terms of how I want my market outlook today. I still believe that we're going to be trading around this level again for the day, but I do still expect a lot of volatility. And another key thing that we need to remember, right? If I open investing.com quickly right now and look at the economic calendar, we have some big data coming out, right? Again, this evening, so or early morning US, right? We have the non-manufacturing prices. We have the non-farm employment change. This is going to be big, right? At 7:15 my time, so that would be around, I think, 8:15 in the US or whatever. But all of these things we need to pay attention for, because there's no doubt that what we've seen, at least from the last recent days of trading, like these types of data releases are going to have a big effect on the market, right? Another key thing, again, hate to keep on talking about this, but it was clear yesterday as well, right? If we look at the price action, it's a pure reflection of how yields were moving. There's definitely that very, very strong correlation right now. And of course, there's always been that correlation, but it's stronger than ever before at the moment, right? So we need to be paying attention to the yields, right? We got that huge dump. That's what was initially causing that run up, and then we got that pullback with the Yellen, or that rise up again with the Yellen interviews. So we need to be paying attention to this clearly. I think a very, very key level that we need to watch for is 1.6%, or even this 1.61. Really need to see how the market is going to react to that. If we're going to break through that, and that, especially with the data that's coming out later, if we break through that, I could definitely see gold testing those 50 levels. But again, I think the bulls are strong in terms of gold. So at those levels, be confident to buy. Trust the pre-market analysis. And if not, I mean, if it breaks below that, okay, well, then we have to readjust and just make sure we focus on the level below, which goes even below that, which would probably be the next strong support level would be around, at least from previous price action, would be around 1720. So it's something that we need to keep an eye on. One other thing the last thing I'll say about how I'm going to trade the market today, right? So generally, 70, 75, at these levels, I'm looking to buy. I actually have a buy position open around this even 1780, as we're kind of experiencing this strange, right now we're kind of experiencing this consolidation or flat price range. The market doesn't have a direction yet, but this is the last thing I really want to focus on, especially as a beginner trader, or for beginner traders who are following this. When we have price just consolidating or going sideways like this, not really choosing any particular direction, there's really, in my opinion, two things that we can do as beginners. One thing is we can open a small position like a 0.5 or whatever. I personally opened a buy here just because of the previous day's bullish momentum. So I opened a buy, but nothing serious. Just open something small and see how the market is going to move. Once you get that, let's say once the market actually does choose to go a particular way, like let's say it really does continue going bullish and we start to get this kind of like stronger maybe run up here, or we start seeing like a bullish pattern like this ascending triangle that we saw here, or whatever it may be. Basically, when we get a confirmation in terms of price direction, then you can open a slightly larger position, right? And kind of ride that wave. I think that's one thing that is very important, especially in also like in a market which is experiencing this mixed narrative, right? Let the market first choose a direction that it's going to go for the next few hours. Once you got that confirmation of direction, continue and open a slight larger position and ride the wave until you hit like another very key support level like this, 1795 or even 1790 if you want to be more conservative, right? That would be the case if you were going buying gold, if you are longing the market. If though, for example, let's say right now I have that long position open, right? Let's say it looks clear that, oh, actually it's not going to go that way, but it's going to short. Then no problem. Just close the position, take a very, very small loss, and you can start opening the short position there, right? And riding the wave back down to maybe whatever, whether it's 1763 or whatever, right? So I think that's the best way to do it if you're slightly more aggressive. If you're conservative, don't play these types of positions, okay? You don't need to open here. Patience is key, right? Keep your emotions in check. Don't get greedy. Wait for those, wait till the price moves closer to those, either that very strong resistance we were seeing before or the very strong support that we were seeing before, okay? Anyway, thanks, guys. Let me know if you have any comments. Leave a like if you want. Subscribe. Yeah. If you have any questions about what I'm doing or my analysis or my style, please let me know. I'm happy to respond. Cool, guys.